Hey guys, Jacob Dupre here at Sweetwater. I want to show you 5 really cool left-hand patterns that every piano player should know. The first left-hand pattern is something you would use with maybe a typical pop progression or like a rock ballad, maybe like your kind of Billy Joel type song, piano song. So for instance, if you take 4 chords that are used in so many songs, 1, so C if it's 1, 5 chord G, A minor, minor 6, and the 4 chord F. That's like every song, right? The left-hand pattern you could do would be something like this, and it's really just hanging on the roots of each chord with this sort of repetitive rhythmic figure. So here it goes. So the basic element of that, when I'm doing my left hand, is just and then if you want to embellish it even a little bit more, you can add between the notes, between the roots of the chord, you can add little stepwise motions, little scales to kind of lead up to it. Or a lot of times you can do like a chromatic thing. So here's kind of the whole thing put together. The second left-hand pattern is boogie. Like as in boogie woogie. I have a pretty simple little one that I always come back to when I need it, and it's simply just like if I was going to do it in C, C and G, and then going up to C and A, like this, and then C and B flat, and then I just kind of swing it like this. Because once you add the right hand, say you're just playing a normal kind of C7 chord, that's going to give you a lot of the rhythm. Something I can't help myself from doing every time is throwing in this little skip beat to kind of make it swing a little bit, because this is a little boring, Like the elements are there, but it's not filled out, and I like to do this little skip right here. So letting that G come in on the and of the 4th beat. 4 and 1, 2. And if you really get into it, you can kind of bounce all of it. You gotta put your Jerry Lee Lewis stuff in there. The third one is a stride left-hand pattern. So your basic stride pattern is basically, some people might call it kind of like a chunk kind of thing. It's basically you're grabbing a bass note and then you're playing a chord and you're jumping up for that chord. So if I was going to do that, say in the key of F, and I was going to play F to C, so F sort of like F6 or F major to C7, and then back to F, 1 to 5, I'd do a pattern like this. I'd play the F, and then I'd play a chord up here. So the basic pattern would be something like this. And a lot of times for ballads, if it's a little bit slower, this works well. You can use the pedal, and instead of having space between each note, you can slur them together. And that's another thing you can throw in, is this kind of 3, 4, 1. So if I'm playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So like this. And again, when you put it together and you use the pedal for something slower, it'll sound like this. the fourth pattern is actually related to the stride, and something you can throw in a lot with the stride playing is tenths. So from C to E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's the interval of a tenth. Literally just counting the notes up the scale. So I can walk tenths in, say, on a C major scale because of the way the scale is, it fits my hand. So but I'm even playing on just the edge of the outside of the key right here. If I go to another key, say E flat major, I have to break it, which is okay. You can break it. So that would be like this. And it doesn't sound bad. So this is how you can combine tenths with stride. The fifth pattern is one that I kind of like to call a sort of rolling left-hand piano. It's a little bit of a New Orleans influence in it, but it's definitely very reminiscent of Latin music as well. So what you're doing is rolling all the way up the octave and then playing E and G, the third and the fifth. So here's what that would sound like. And you can break that E and G, or you could do it like this. And your right hand, when you do add your right hand, is going to kind of give the offbeats to fill the rhythm in. So you know, if any of you guys have any Mardi Gras gigs, this will work really well for you. And there are different variations you can do with that. You can actually simplify it and do just a simple 1-3-5 bass line, which will work with some of this more, you know, New Orleans flavored music, but it can work with a lot of rock songs, have this kind of progression too, which is just simply 1-3-5 in a rhythm like this. And then when you get a little more advanced, you can add in the other pattern. I hope you've enjoyed checking out these left-hand patterns with me. I hope you think they're cool. I hope you'll use them in your own playing. Feel free to comment below, and if there's another pattern I didn't talk about that you really liked, you can mention that one, or any suggestions or any ideas that you have. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching.